What's up, everybody? It's your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different, back with another video. Been a minute, but we are back, and I have a brand new series called Understanding Effects. But basically, I'm gonna be talking to you guys, basically like, I don't want to say introduction, but I guess kind of a basic tutorials where I go over all the type of effects out there and try to explain them, how they operate, what they do, and you know what they're used for, how you should use them. Just some tricks like that, because a lot of people see like my videos and they see me using all these third-party plugins, and the first thing that comes to their mind is, where do I get them? Do I need that? People get, what about my stock stuff? Would that be the same? So I want to kind of explain to you like the main plugins or effects out there that are used all the time, and you know, just give you overview what they're doing and show you that it doesn't matter what you have, that you can still get good results from out if you're using stock or third party. So today, the first video is going to be about EQ, which is equalization. Basically what an EQ is it gives you the ability to adjust certain frequencies of a sound. So pretty much you have, I'm going to be using parametric EQ2 as an example. I also have FabFilter Pro Q2 because these are two EQs I use. Both are basically the same. Neither one, like, I mean, not better than the other, they're just EQs. So this is an example of a stock plugin and a default plugin. Same thing with Ableton, same thing with Studio One, Pro Tools, all that, you know, just supplement your defaults or whatever. So now EQ is compiled of a few things. It's compiled of the bands, which is, you know, the frequencies you can mess with. So each band is a certain frequency. So whatever band you get, like this one has 7 bands, and each band can manipulate a different frequency. So you can manipulate the lows, the highs, the mids, you know, the low mids, the high mids. You get the example. So a band just allows you to, you know, shape whatever frequency you want, and frequency goes between 20 hertz all the way to 20 kilohertz, depending on the plug-in. Like some can go higher. There's some hardware that go all the way up to 70 kilohertz, which is like in a dog hearing, so doesn't really fucking matter, but I mean, hey, it makes a difference. So we'll just turn back to default. Okay, so you got the frequency bands, you have the frequency, you have the bandwidth, which basically means, or the Q is in most cases, basically means the how wide or how narrow the area of effect is. So a wide band would, you know, would mess with a wider spectrum of frequency. So as you see, this band goes between, you know, in between 100 hertz and 2K hertz, and this, you know, in between here is gonna be all affected. A narrow band will mean very narrow. That's kind of like a surgical type thing. Like you use a wide band for more mastering applications, and you use a narrow band for more surgical stuff. Like you're just trying to get rid of a certain frequency or something like that, or find a certain bad frequency. You would use a narrow band to find that bad frequency and then, you know, get rid of it. So that's the bandwidth, or the Q is in most cases. I think it's called the Q, and yeah, it's called the Q in here, but it's basically the bandwidth. So same thing. So you might see bandwidth, you might see Q. It's all the same. And then you have your different type of EQ curves. So in most cases, you'll see the normal, which is a bell, which basically looks like a bell. So, you know, you can, you know, mess with a certain area. You have a low shelf, which basically will boost or cut like all the low frequencies and the low spectrum of it. You have a high shelf, which is basically the opposite of a low shelf. Go figure. You have a high cut, which cuts the highs, or is a high pass filter, because or I think it's a low pass filter as it's called. A high pass filter because it's bypassing the highs and cutting the lows. So, and you got a low cut, which kind of cuts the lows. I mean, obvious, and that's called a low pass filter because it bypasses the lows and cuts the highs. And that's the weird thing that gets me all the time, like a high pass versus the low pass, because high pass means bypass the highs, go straight for the lows. So high pass would be cutting the lows, and low pass would be bypassing the lows, cutting the highs. Or like I said, in most cases you'll hear me refer to them as either high cut or low cut, because this is a whole lot easier to say that way. And then there's some specialty ones, which is like a notch filter, which basically just notches out certain frequencies. And then you have like a band pass, which basically is basically a high pass and a low pass filter in one. So that's another one. And then you have tilt shift, which is whatever you like, when you boost one side, you cut the other side. So it'd be 2 shelves. So pretty much you can do that with this. Like a tilt shift would be like this, a low pass and a high pass. So as you see, you can do all these with the same plugin. With like both plugins are exactly the same, as you see. And also you can change your different frequencies up here. So you can change your different types. You know, got your notch, your high pass, your band pass, and even a resonance filter, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so as you can see so far, both are basically the same. Now, let me give you an example of why you would use one of the why you use an EQ. Let's say I want to boost some of my lows, and I got this little kick drum sample. As you can see, sounds really good, but I want to punch it up a little bit. I'll just boost some of the lows to punch it up a little bit, and say I want to, you know, like I always do, I like to cut my highs from kick drums anyway to kind of tighten it up. You see how that just automatically makes a more tighter sound. So that's one way. That's one way you would use a EQ in order to enhance or, you know, bring forth a sound. Now, say you wanted to thin something out. For example, let's go to silent or serum. Do we do the serum? Oh, let's do contact. Contact would be a good example of another way. I love how long my plugins take to load. Come forth. All right, then we're gonna go to library. Then we go to choir, and my favorite choir, which would be choir, the Oz. And I don't have my keyboard right now. Shit, plugged up. Oh well. There we go. Put on 1. All right. Now we're just gonna restart this EQ. We're gonna restart default. Now, one thing I like to do with sounds like this is get rid of certain frequencies. Like in my last example with the kick drum, we boosted. So in this example, I'm actually gonna get rid of some frequencies. So I'm gonna turn to a high cut, and I'm gonna cutting those frequencies can also yield a great result as well. So as you can see that you can either make the sound, you can enhance the sound, or you can remove frequencies. So you can add frequencies or remove frequencies, regardless on what you do. EQ is great for that, and you can use it on individual tracks, a master track, whatever. EQ is probably going to be your most used effect out of any effect, I think, in my opinion. Like EQ is an essential when it comes to making beats, producing, mixing, engineering, whatever. EQ is always going to be needed because you're always going to need to enhance or cut frequencies because nobody has the perfect environment no matter what it is. And like I said, what I just did with EQ2, you can the Fruity EQ or the stock EQ, you can definitely do with the third party one. The good thing about third party one, this has some special features like you can listen, you can like zone in certain frequencies and stuff like that, so you can focus in on certain frequencies. And it has a few other things, but it's an EQ. It's all the same. So there should be no excuse why you can't do stuff that I showed you with EQ2, the default one, with a third party. Both the same. But yeah, that's pretty much EQ. I mean, there's not really much I talk about. EQs, amazing. I'm definitely gonna be doing more tricks with EQs, and I always show different stuff with EQs. But I want to kind of explain what an EQ is, what it does, and why you would use it. Because I mean, there's really no case where you don't need to use the EQ. I suggest everybody use EQ on Odyssey because sometimes you can get away with just EQ and stuff, then compressing it or doing anything else, whatever. EQ can go a long way. EQ can make stuff louder, make stuff quieter, make stuff sound prettier, make it sound more harsh, make it sound rough, make it sound airy, make it sound bright, make it sound dull, make it sound dark. I mean, EQ can do everything. EQ is the tool that you always should use regardless. So hope this explaining some good stuff to you guys. That open your eyes to it, make you think. Like I said, I'm gonna have more videos like this. Like I said, I'm just gonna be a whole series where I'm gonna be talking about every effect out there, from compressors, the EQs, the limiters, the delays, the everything. I'm gonna break everything down. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Like always, let me know what effects you guys want me to see me talk about. I definitely would break it down. Leave in the comment below. Let me know what you think. Also, shop with me. I got a new. All my stuff is now on my videos now, so we're back up and running, so you can purchase all the products. Thank you guys as always. Hope you guys enjoy. You know who it is. It's your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. Not motivated by the money, but the like, comment, subscribe, and views. And with that being said, like always, guess what? I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.